Once you start it, it starts.
Oh, it doesn't let me do the transition?
And we're talking over it now.
Hi.
She's still learning.
Yes, we are still learning. And yes, I was trying to do like this really cool fade after the 10 seconds mark, but the music started and then I could talk and...
As soon as you touch the fade button.
Yeah, but I transitioned between other screens. Anyway, nobody wants to hear the technical jargon. How is everybody? That Caleb guy, I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's in the chat today. He didn't want to be on screen. So, yeah, for those of you who haven't seen Caleb on the YouTube channel, he is our second child, our oldest son, and he does YouTube videos when he's not swamped with school. And this year he's doing physics and chemistry and working at Chick-fil-A almost full time. So anyway, howdy, welcome to Family History Fanatics. If this is your first time here, I want you to go #first timer so we all can welcome you to the chaos. And then if you are a regular, welcome. So glad to have you. We've got Lily and Evelyn and Ascertain and Tribal Woman and Chris and somebody else. I don't know. Andy has decided to take over control of the keyboard.
Well, I know. I'm just trying to see some different things.
Cosmic Slice and Jody Williams and Patricia, who's about to get on her treadmill. And June and Cosmic Slice and Lily. Did I say you got Amanda?
Yeah.
And
did you say Kirsten from Sweden?
I did not. Kirsten from Sweden. And Cindy's not feeling good. I'm so sad to hear that. I'm glad you all are here. And Melissa Parker, the archive lady, is in the house. And Lori just joined us. Hey, how are you? Okay, so we're going to talk about being overwhelmed in genealogy. He also got me this new mouse, and it's driving me nuts. So, hi.
Okay, we need to move the mic closer because you keep on keeping the mic far away.
I know, but I shout. I'm loud.
You can shout.
No.
They can turn down the volume.
You're going to put it near
Okay.
you, Mr. Quiet.
We're like...
There we go.
Yeah, lots of noises. We move everything around.
Sorry about that.
It's her fault.
It's not my fault. I'm just loud and he's quiet, and together we're married. How does that work? I have no idea. Anyway, we are going to talk about being overwhelmed in genealogy. And here, I'm going to go over here to the slide. Oh, that cuts
You're
my
going to
face.
like cut your face
That
off.
won't
There
work.
we go.
We're going to have to do that. All right. So in the chat, if you're watching replay or watching it live, let us know what makes you feel overwhelmed in genealogy. We had a wonderful viewer.
You're not over there, by the way.
I'm not over there.
No, see? Which one did you want?
I want this one.
Okay, I thought you wanted the other one. No. I don't know which one she wants.
I know what I'm doing. Like, I do. I really do know what I'm doing. Oh, here we go. Now I can actually read the slide here.
But they can't read it. Are you wanting them to be able to read it?
Well, if I drop this link in the chat, you can see it. I'm just letting you know that somebody gave us a little comment in our comment section, but let me go ahead and read what it says. I have to go back here. Sorry, guys. So anyway, this is from Dennis Woods, and he said, I'd love to see a video from you that gives advice on how to keep from getting overwhelmed by all the information that is available. I start reaching someone and start following that line, and then I get confused and overwhelmed where I should go from there, and then I get discouraged and stop, and then it takes me a while to get back.
Has anybody else had that problem in your research? Have you started something and you get overwhelmed and you're off on some rabbit hole somewhere, and then you find another rabbit hole that's connected to that rabbit hole, and pretty soon you're like in this rabbit cavern and there's just rabbits everywhere?
Did you find the Easter Bunny in that?
Probably. Especially this Easter time when you can go to Walmart and buy all the Easter decorations you wanted.
So Maria is saying absolutely, and Cosmic Slice says yes. Keeping tracks of dates is overwhelming. To Shadislav, that's a cool name.
Shadislav.
Cool. We're learning new names. Edgar says his problem is with different countries he's researching. Totally get it.
Rabbits, ants, same difference. Absolutely, Chris. That's actually what I was thinking is, so... Tangent. Let's go.
Hold on. I need to throw in this one, and then you can tangent.
Okay.
An ant, because it's going to fly, and I'm not going to see it. But Amanda said her problem is knowing how professional to get with your research.
All right. Now can I do tangent?
Now you can tangent.
So, Chris, the whole time when I was talking about rabbit holes and other rabbit holes on that, I was actually thinking of ants and ant hills. And if you go on YouTube, you can watch like lead casting or zinc casting of ant hills, where they're taking an anthill, you put sand around it, and then you pour molten lead, or, if you really have a lot of money, you can pour molten silver down there, and it fills in all of the ant holes. It kills the ants. So if you have a fire ant problem like down in Texas, it's a great way to kill the ants. And then you dig this up, and you have this great art sculpture. It has nothing to do with genealogy, but it's really cool. Total tangent, off on a rabbit hole, and she's like...
I'm laughing because it reminds me, it's not related to genealogy and you have to get off this tangent, but it's reminding me of, the Gopher videos.
The Gophers?
Yeah, when you did something and it went...
Oh, yeah. So this is family history story, which isn't really family history, but sort of is.
It is
all stories are family history.
All today's personal history is from all family
Since
history.
we're talking about being overwhelmed and going down rabbit holes, we're going to go down lots of rabbit holes today. So this is back when I was working up in Iowa, and one of the guys that I worked with, he comes in one day and says, "Hey, have you seen the Rodinator?" And I'm like, "No, what is the Rodinator?" He's like, "It is the most awesome thing. I think we should join together. We should buy one of these things and go into business." And I'm like, "Okay, well, what is it?" He's like, "It's really cool because what it does is it injects oxygen and acetylene down into the gopher holes or the mole holes, and then it sparks it and it blows up the whole system, kills them all, and it's really cool." And so I'm like, well, that sounds like something we got to check out. So at work, we're of course looking up Rodinator, and if you want to go now, I think it's still online somewhere, but you can go to Rodinator and look up the videos, and it is like, if you, like, I'm not sure I know in England they have vole problems in certain parts of England. I'm not sure in Sweden if you have that, depending on how cold it is, but in the Midwest, there are moles all over the place, and they just destroy your lawn because they just burrow under there and create all these mounds and stuff and eat all the roots and kill all the grass. And so you got to be ruthless with these things. You've got to blow them up. And that's what the Rodinator does, is it blows them up.
Uh-huh. Okay, so Charlie told us there's May Day. Oh my gosh, speaking of Midwest.
Another story, sorry.
May Day! So how many of you celebrate May Day? So
we're not talking about the communist May Day. We're talking about the... Yeah. May Day is like a major communist holiday.
So May Day, I miss being in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. May Day, you'd go try to run around. It's like better than Halloween. You try to go to friends' houses and you try to knock on their door and drop some treats and then dash away before they catch you. Okay, so we really liked doing that. It's really fun, and I've only ever done that in Cedar Rapids. We tried to bring that back to Texas in our neighborhood, and nobody ever got us treats. So we said, forget that. We're not doing that anymore. Anyway, yeah, because my kids like treats, sorry. But there's this one house. They are on the steepest hill around. We tried all kinds of tactics, and they catch everybody every time. So we stopped giving them treats. Anyway, but this does relate to getting overwhelmed. We go off on tangents all the time, right?
Chris says we're never going to get to the topic today.
Sure we are. Okay, so Dan, he started Genealogy 25 years ago. 2 kids later, after college graduation, he's starting after. And we're not going on. Thanks, June. I like your rabbit hole, but we're not going down your rabbit hole. Jody says she's trying to sort out families with many children and generations named the same thing. Lily's trying to keep track of same named individuals. I think there's Lori's is trying to keep organized and focused. Okay, so lots of people have this problem, and lots of people get just sidetracked and distracted. So we're going to talk about a few strategies. Oh, it's called Friendship Day. Oh, cool.
Oh, I never heard of that.
Huh. May Day celebrations come from pagan festivals. Well, you know.
I like those pagan festivals.
It is okay.
How come all the sorry, tangent again. How come all these pagan festivals involve candy nowadays? We've converted everything to candy. So, you know, Halloween, candy. May Day, candy. Valentine's, it's probably a pagan festival. Candy. Mother's Day, you know, pagan festival, candy.
Father's Day, candy and root beer.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to start actually talking about how you get overwhelmed.
How about we get the overwhelm?
And what's going to be really great is because I have already forgotten who said about...
You're overwhelmed with the stories.
I am overwhelmed.
My job today, just so you know, is try to get her off track.
Apparently it is. So maybe I'll kick him out and go get the college student come over here. But in any case, so this one kind of has to deal with the question about how professional to be in your research, right? So the first thing you need to do is decide how professional do you want to, or what are your interest levels? So maybe you're trying to be a professional genealogist. Maybe you're trying to become certified. Maybe you're trying to take on clients. Well, then you're going to have different strategies than someone who wants to do quality research but doesn't want to be that strict. I didn't want to be negative. It's strict, more formal, and anyway. Or then you can be Andy, who gets sidetracked a lot and doesn't care.
Well, yeah. So that's the really, now I know she's already into this as far as step by step, but really what she forgot was the first one is if you don't care about getting sidetracked, then you can't get frustrated about getting sidetracked. And so, yeah, I don't do most of my research to write a report or to do this or to do that. You know, sometimes I'll write a story. Sometimes I'll research this stuff here. Sometimes I'll do that. And sometimes it'll be on this person. Sometimes it'll be on this other person. Sometimes I don't feel like it, so I'll go find a random person and start doing stuff, you know, for them. And, yeah. So that's the first way to do it, is just don't care, and then you don't have to worry about getting sidetracked.
Yes.
Now, for everybody else who's not me.
Well, but here's the thing. Let me see if I can switch this. We might have to get close. Oh, darn. Okay. See, did that work? I don't know if that works. Anyway. Maybe you have to be off the screen for a minute.
Okay.
Go away.
Go away.
Never mind. All right, we're going to switch back to the other one. We're going to have to change things up a little bit. But that one works. That one works.
Which one?
I'll transition to that one.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you before.
That one works better than the other one.
She didn't listen to me before when I was saying go to this screen.
Okay, I'm there. Now, so any of you who doubt whether this is live, it's live.
It's totally live.
Okay, so for those of you who don't really care about getting lost, and getting lost is a good thing, that's when these ancestry hints come handy. Now, this is actually Find My Past, but I'm just talking in general about ancestor hints. So just log in, go to your tree, look at the hints, and take you wherever the wind blows. But notice that you're going to be going to another point we're going to reference a little bit later about being organized. So since you're online, it can feed into that, I just want to be casual, hobbyist, and see where I go. Another site where you can do that is also on Ancestry. Now, Chris, in my videos, this week was Ancestry Week on Family History Fanatics, minus the DNA stuff. And so one of our videos this week, he said, how do you only have just 2,000 hints? Well, I keep a small tree on Ancestry, but one of the things I could do on Ancestry, and I don't know if you guys have seen this before, is sometimes when I'm trying to be casual, I'll go to my list of hints and filter by surname and just pick a surname I haven't worked on in a while and just take those hints. And that allows me to just go wherever the wind blows. But for some of you who are trying to be more professional, the way you prevent yourself from getting overwhelmed is to have a research report style. In a previous video that I get in a lot of trouble with, let me find the link for it real quick, is, this is the link. I get in a lot of trouble because I don't like research logs. I think they're an absolute waste of time because there's two ways I do genealogy without getting lost and overwhelmed. Number one, I either put my information in a software program and then create a report if I'm going to get to that stage. I really like writing books, as some of you know on this channel. So maybe I'll do a book rather than a research report. So I'm still recording my sources, but I'm going from a database to my final product. But some people go the other way around. Some to stay on track and stay organized, they are working on specific questions, which we'll come to in a little bit. And then they create a research report and then put their stuff into the tree. So ignore the research logs. Sorry if you love them, but you want to not be overwhelmed real fast. There you go. That was a double negative. Sorry about that. But the point is, if you want to reduce your overwhelm, take out research logs. I'm not saying don't track your research, but put it in a research report or put it in a database and then migrate to your other final product and skip the research log there. So if you agree or disagree, you're welcome to let us know in the chat. Hello, Emily from Ireland and Kay Bobbitt. Thank you for joining us. And Lenny in the chat. Oh.
So I wanted to highlight a couple of things here.
I have to kiss under a blossoming tree on May 1st.
I am going to institute new check stuff.
There you go.
There's
all right.
Tree blossoming right here.
There you go.
But no, Cosmic Slice mentioned that you can find out some really interesting things in history when you get sidetracked. So question for our audience members in the chat, can you put one of the most interesting things you found out about history or something when you got sidetracked off one of these rabbit holes? Mm-hmm. Finding out about checks kissing under trees on May 1st is pretty awesome.
Oh, we got some hearts from Maria. Awesome. All right. So that first you need to assess your interest while you guys are typing stuff. Assess your interest. And the next thing you need to do is assess your skill set. So for me, I am also often called the Debbie Downer of DNA because it's overwhelming to me. Like if you want to overwhelm me very quickly, you start asking me to do DNA. However, there are some resources online that help me not to be overwhelmed. Through lines, as long as I make sure that I understand what a through line is, my heritage theory, family relativity, those help me. But when I start getting overwhelmed with DNA, I just go back to records. What about...
Or she asks me.
Or I ask him. But what other things can you think about assessing your skill sets to reduce your overwhelm?
Well, I think one of the things is finding out or figuring out what it is you want to learn. Like I remember we had this one person who their ancestors were from Poland, and like very recently from Poland, within the last 2 generations, and she wanted to find out more about them. Well, with ancestry like that, it's like, do you know Polish was really our first question. The answer, she just said, is no. It's like, well, that might be something that's worth looking into and learning. Mm-hmm. One, learn a new language, but 2, you're also learning something about your ancestors from learning Polish. And so think about what it is that you really want to do, mm-hmm. and whether or not there's some skill that you need in order to do that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's go back to the chat. We've got some people dropping in some cool stuff.
Okay. So Cosmic Slice is, my distant cousin's wife was assassinated by her father, who then led the police through a chase through the wilderness for days. He's known as Black Bill Rutan.
He was in a book about Canadian outlaws.
Cool.
There you go.
That's pretty awesome.
I mean, it's not often that it happened, but we find the cool stories, right?
Okay, yeah. Ascertain says, reading about the Russian Revolution in 1905 gave me a little bit of perspective and reason as to why my great-grandfather may have come to the States in 1905. Yeah, that was a huge turmoil time for Russia. It's not just the revolution in 1917. There was a couple of decades leading up to it that it was like very close to revolution a lot of time.
Maria wants you to try to say her last name.
Capaldi.
No.
Oh, Kozarek. Mm-hmm. So I'll tell you something about one of my ancestors. Mm-hmm. So this was a Quick, and I'm trying to remember what his first name was, if it was Peter Quick or something like that. But anyway, he was it's kind of hard to figure out. He was either an Indian fighter back in the 1700s. He tracked down Indians and stuff. Or he had lived with them and was, basically part of them. And one of the things about him is that somebody had said is that he might have been, because of the different stories about him at the time in the 1700s, he might have been the inspiration for Last of the Mohicans. Oh,
that's pretty cool.
Pretty cool, huh?
That's pretty cool.
Now, that's just, maybe not, but...
And then the one we did pretty good job, Sandersloth. Second or third cousin... Shadasloth, I'm sorry. Second or third cousin died in a canoeing accident in Canada. Oh, we got Canadians in the house. The husband may have killed her...
Canoeing accident.
Oh, I forgot my quotes. I'm sorry. Let's start it. A second or third cousin died in an accident in a canoe in Canada. The husband may have killed her, but was pardoned by an all-male jury. But for some reason lived in something, I have no idea how to say that, before to the United States. There you go. There you go. We learn something new every day. I don't have a lot of, I find out that my ancestors are drunks. my ancestors are professors. People lie a lot in my family. Whatever. But Chris talked about how he learned why so many Italians came to America during their migration. It was poverty. And so when I researched my ancestor Joseph, that I talk about a lot on this channel, Joseph Geisler, he came in either after the failed revolution of 1848 in Germany. Did you know there was a revolution in Germany in 1848? I didn't really before I started researching him. And then when he got here, he had 2 major strikes against him. And this was something we don't talk a lot about. One, he faced racial discrimination. And you're looking at me going, how did he face racial discrimination? Well, during that time period, there was a nativist movement for those who were born. And so they persecuted him. They wouldn't hire them for jobs. Everything that you could think of with the word persecution that happened to Irish and Germans. Now, here's the second strike he had against him. He was Catholic. Now, there's a myth going around in genealogy that if your German is in America, then he has to be Lutheran or the female. No. They're either Lutheran, Catholic, or non-practicing, or some other religion. Well, he happened to be Catholic, and in that time period, Catholics, like having a Catholic might have been you should have worn a Jewish star. They were just not well received in America in that time period. So he had it rough. He had it pretty rough. So you learn a lot. You may not have the murderers or the canoeing accidents, but sometimes you do learn about a historical history that we don't talk about a lot, and it's pretty fascinating. So rabbit trail, no, because I really did learn a lot about him, and in order to get to those records, I had to assess my skills as a researcher. See how I tied that back?
That's pretty good.
That is pretty awesome. All right, but we are going to take a tangent. We have a little bit of news for our loyal members and for you for the first time here. We have been talking for a while about, let me see which one I want to do here. No, I'll just do this one. Let's leave them. We have been talking for a while about developing a channel membership site. You just want to go back there? We can go back to that one. That's fine.
Okay.
So we have grown thanks to your support, you guys. We can't thank you enough. History Fanatics on YouTube. We now qualify to offer.
We are going to be starting FHF Extra. Now, we've been experimenting with some different things this last month as far as different things that we're going to be doing. So let me tell you what we're going to continue to do that's going to still be available for everybody. Regardless, right now, is we're still going to be producing. Let's see here. You might be receiving. We just got a warning from YouTube here. It's not receiving enough video. Let me see here. Okay, I'll just ignore that for right now, and hopefully it's good. Anyway, so we'll still be producing 2 or 3 videos a week that are going to be available on the YouTube channel. And we'll still be doing a live stream every other week, just like we're doing right now. And I think we're still going to do the DNA Q&A live stream on at least 2 Saturdays out of the month, is what the plan is. So here in the next couple of weeks, once we get everything all set up for FHF Extra, if you would like to become a member, there'll be a little join button, and you can join. I think it is $2.99 a month.
Yep.
So you can do it 1 month. You can do it, continuously every month. But what we will have for members is a few things. Sorry, I'm about to burp, and that wouldn't be good on camera. One is we're going to have an extra live stream every month just for members. Now, the topic of that live stream is really going to be decided by the members. So, for instance, if you have a good genealogy question or problem that you want us to work on live with you, then we can do that. You can send that to us as a member, and we will work through that live, be asking you questions, looking at stuff. We'll show you how we're doing research, going to different records like that. So that we'll be doing one of those each month. The other thing we'll be doing each month is we will have one of our training classes, one of our webinars that we will do.
Or in person.
Each month. No, those were the live ones. Like you've been doing on Facebook or the library.
No, like when we went to YouTube. When we went to Roots Tech and recorded that one.
No, those are different.
Okay, never mind.
That's the next one. So we're going to have a class each month. A 1 hour class based on one of our classes that we have. The third thing is we are going to be putting on all of the recordings of different classes that we've done at different societies and at different conferences. So there's a couple different ones from Roots Tech that will be there. There are some from where else did we have some recorded? I can't remember all, but we had some recorded from some different societies that we've recorded some from. Basically, these are ones that are not available anywhere else.
Yep.
They're only going to be available on the member side of things. And then for a lot of our live streams, right now our live streams are going to be on YouTube for about 2 weeks.
Yep.
And then after that, they will move over to the member side. So you'll be able to watch all the past live streams as well.
Yep.
And what else was there?
I don't know, but that's enough to get started.
That's enough to get started, and whatever else we would decide to add on to that as well.
Well, Cosmos says slice the signer up, and you'll be able to do that yourself. And as soon as we have that, you'll start seeing a little join button, or we'll just have an announcement on the community page of our YouTube page. So that's that. To tell you a little bit about. Then we also have a small favor to ask.
Okay, now this is going to be a secret. So you can't tell anybody. Caleb, you're listening right now. If you have the speakers on, turn the speakers off and put some headphones in. Okay? Because nobody else knows about this in the family.
Yes. So our daughter, it had to happen to her. So when our daughter was...
Well, story. We got to go the story.
I'm telling the story. When the daughter was born, this guy was supposed to graduate at Texas A&M University. She decided to come on that day. She had 7 days to come, and she waited after her due date 7 days to come on his graduation day. So our parents, his parents, they went to graduation. We watched it on TV, and then finally I had the baby. So of all my kids to not have a graduation ceremony, it'd be this one. Just give her the details now.
All right. So since the college is shut down and everything, we're going to have a graduation ceremony out on our front lawn, weather permitting.
And we would like you to attend.
We would like you to attend. We're inviting everybody in the neighborhood to drive by and honk their horn and attend, or sit on the sidewalk and watch.
We're going to do the whole social distancing thing.
Yeah. But we're going to be broadcasting this live on YouTube. And so I put the link in there, tinyurl.com/Rachel2020. It'll be at 1 p.m.
Yep.
Next Saturday, 1 p.m. Central Time.
So that
next
is
Saturday.
2 p.m. Eastern and GMT -5 for us. I don't know how to get it to the Swedish time, but it's early enough for Kirsten and our other Swedes to watch. So you'll be able to watch, you'll be able to leave comments, and she'll be able to read it later, and we'll be able to do
live,
something.
because she'll have her phone right there that she can read the comments live
while she's ignoring her father's graduation speech.
But yeah, we've got my father as our graduation speaker, and my mom is going to be the, I don't know what you would call it, the dean, the master of ceremonies, all that stuff. And we've got, so they both have master's degrees, and they have their robes, with whatever the fancy dancy stuff looks like on their robes. And so they're going to, do that. We're going to have the pomp and circumstance march in. It's going to be really awesome. Got the loudspeakers, to set up out. I mean, it's cool. And so I'm going to be the cameraman. We're going to have the 2 cameras set up going that we use for a lot of our live presentations. And it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Right. So we got quite a few said they'll be there. That's exciting. So thank you so much. So
yeah,
now
you can go to that link, and there'll be a link in the description below for those of you who are watching later. And you can go to that link, and you can set your reminder right now.
She will have a tassel.
Yes, we've got her.
It's all
right down there.
Yeah.
So tassel, she's cap down, so she can throw the cap and everything. And Rachel, if you're watching, just pretend like you're surprised.
Yeah. Yeah. But here's one little thing. She is dual graduation. So she's graduating as a senior in high school. She was homeschooled. And then she's also graduating with her associate's degree from the Lone Star College here in Texas. Her path forward is she's looking to go into beauty school. We haven't totally figured all that out yet, because we were going to go to a makeup show and it was canceled. So that is the path forward, but we would love for you guys to join in and make that day special for her, since, there's no party.
And if you want to tell all of your friends to join in and do that too, that is more than welcome.
Perfect. Several people have decided that they're going to go ahead and they have set their reminder, so that'll be really great. So just don't find her online and then let her know.
Yeah, don't
great.
do that. Don't ruin the surprise.
Don't ruin the surprise. All right, so here we go. We're going to go get off our tangent and go back into things. All right, so now, what do you do when you want to reduce the overwhelm? So you can be more casual and just go where the wind blows. And then when you, quote, get lost, you have left yourself trails all the way along by using the online trees and saving your sources. And then it's really okay wherever you get lost, because you've learned something along the way. You can also draft a research report and put your information into it. So let's say you want to be less casual, loosey-goosey like Andy, and you're really working on a specific problem. So one of the things you need to do is define your question. Now, we do have a video about defining your question. I have it already in the description, and I dropped it into the live chat link. Watch it later. Don't watch it now. Watch it later.
Unless you want to go on a rabbit hole. And
we do, but what happens is it kills our analytics. So do it afterwards. And then you'll be helping to fund our habit. In any case, you needed to figure out what your question is. There's short version. There's 3 types of questions: relationship, identity, and then biographical. And so you want to go ahead and develop your question. After that, if you want to prevent going down a rabbit hole, you have to be organized. I know. Organized. Nobody likes being organized. Actually, who likes being organized in this live stream? Like, tell me.
Tell you for real?
Like, tell me for real over there in chat.
So say, I'm organized. Or if you're not organized, say...
Not.
I'm not.
Just put not.
Just put not.
I mean, make it easy on you guys.
Now, and there's different things of organization. Like, I consider myself very organized. But on the other hand, I don't have a plan for most of the genealogy research that I do because I don't have an ultimate goal in mind, and I don't want an ultimate goal in mind.
Which is why a research log would never hurt him. Not the simple one, and not this one. And you already heard what I felt about research logs. Okay?
All right, let's see here. So, Tribal Woman is organized. Chris is like, well, can I get back to you?
Not. He can.
Mr. Danny Doodah is not really organized.
Caleb likes the idea of being organized.
He likes the idea of being organized. I do like to be, but am not.
Right,
yes,
Lily.
I am to a point. I'm an archivist.
I knew that was going to be your answer.
You are.
An archivist has to be organized, right?
That's what like your job is to organize stuff.
In the job description.
So if you know an archivist who is not organized, you don't know a good archivist.
And Chris nailed it. Research logs, yes, I want them all burned. It's just inefficient, but we won't go down that rabbit hole. Okay, so one other way to be organized, again, we talk about either write a research report, but sometimes you're working on something and a research report isn't what you need. So in a future video coming in a few weeks, I'm going to be talking to you about researching tax records. So if you've researched in tax records, you can put tax record, put a little heart and that you love tax records in the chat. But some of you probably haven't worked on tax records because they're confusing, and most people who tell you about them are confusing. But when I started researching in tax records in, I hope I say this right, I think it's Genesee County, Michigan, because it looks like Genesis, but it's Genesee. Anyway, I was working...
There's a lot of E's, right?
There's a whole lot of E's.
Genenesee. There's like a lot of doubles and triples of everything.
Yeah, exactly. So what I did is it's not going to be a formal report, but it was a spreadsheet, which you like.
I love spreadsheets.
A spreadsheet. But it also had notes where because Caleb had earlier said keep track of the links you went to. This is a place for me to keep track of a number of different links. So I needed to find the statutes that told me about tax laws. I needed to keep track of maps, because maps are critical in tax records. And then what did I find? Because I wasn't quite ready to put it into a database. And some people may say it's a research log, but it's not. Notice there's no citations there. It's just me, a visual organizer of my information. I also use ClueWebs, and we have a video about that, but I don't have the link pulled up. But ultimately, I want to get my stuff into a genealogy software or to an online tree, and that keeps me organized. But what have I not answered about you being overwhelmed? The idea is that you reduce the overwhelm by narrowing down your questions and being focused if you want to be. And the way you can narrow down and be focused is just tackle one question at a time. And that's really the way to do it. And then when you get stuck on your questions, then work on a different question. Which reminds me, I have another thing, but you had your finger up.
Don't be writing on my paper.
I'm not going to write on your paper, but I'm holding this.
Oh, okay.
I'm holding this.
Who was it? Anthony. He says, I've made a YouTube folder with all of your information I have to research. So there's another thing I hadn't even thought of as far as a organization tool.
Well, playlist.
Making playlists on YouTube of different things to research. and
well, we also have a video. I'm going to mess things up if I try to go look for it. I set it up different than I do on my DNA days. Because if you start looking for... Oh, yeah, you can do it right there. Here. Stop.
Do what?
I need to go find my Pinterest thing. So you can use Pinterest to organize some of your content.
Find your Pinterest thing.
So you need to yap.
I'm going to yap.
Yes.
I'm yapping about something. Now, they're seeing this up in the corner, just so you know. So unless you want to go to, like, the big main plane, they're going to see everything that you're typing.
Okay. How about I go there?
You don't have to. It's okay.
Oh, and then we forgot to turn that off.
And you get to see the intro again. This is how you know it's live, is because if it wasn't live, we'd cut out all these screw-ups. I tell her that she's got to turn this off, but she doesn't listen to me sometimes.
Well,
I told her to make the copy of this thing and just make it the intro so that we don't keep on going back to it. But, hey.
You're distracting me. I can't get...
I know. So, rabbit holes.
Okay, there you go. Maria has a question, and she put a Q in front of it. We'll get to it as soon as I find my little answer. But if you have questions, go ahead and
no, I was just thinking of this. Actually, Sean Sloth mentioned Genesee, Tennessee. There's also a Genesee, New York, I believe.
Yes. I do know that because guess what? They moved from Genesee, New York to Genesee, Michigan.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So you keep looking for this.
I did. Okay, here's my link to the Pinterest for I can't spell. Pinterest for genealogy is another way you can organize your information. And apparently I can't spell Pinterest. Or there's an S. Pinterest. Okay. Pinterest. So that's a video that you can use Pinterest to organize.
Did you want to show?
Do I want to show?
Oh, you're just doing the video. Okay.
Yeah, I was just pulling up the video. Yeah.
Okay. I was going to look up Genesee and see how many Genesees there are in the U.S.
Okay. Rabbit hole Genesee.
Rabbit hole Genesee. Who thought when you logged in today that you were going to go to Genesee and find out all the Genesees?
There's a brewery.
Come on. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, wait. Let's figure out over here
there you go.
And transition so y'all can see. So here is the Genesees. There is a Genesee, Alberta.
Well, and Ascertain says there's a SUNY in Genesee.
There's a SUNY, Geneseo.
Oh.
There's a Genesee, California, Colorado, a
Michigan.
Genesee County, Michigan, a Genesee County, New York, Genesee Falls, New York. It's a town. Genesee, Idaho. There's a Genesee Theater in Waukegan, Illinois. There's a Genesee in Lansing, Michigan. That's a neighborhood. Genesee, Wisconsin. Genesee Depot. Genesee, Seattle. That's a neighborhood in Seattle. Genesee Park in Seattle. Part of the Rainier Valley neighborhood. So there's a Genesee neighborhood in Seattle, in West Seattle. And then there's a Genesee Park that's part of Rainier Valley neighborhood of Seattle. Genesee River in Pennsylvania and Western New York. Now, see, I can understand naming Genesee after that, because my guess is that Genesee, New York is probably right near the Genesee River.
Probably.
Genesee Township in Illinois, Genesee Township in Michigan, in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Genesee College, yeah. And then you got all the companies. There's a lot of Genesees.
All right. Somebody just asked the most difficult question in the world. Eric. How about adding and organizing sources in different genealogy programs? Are there tips for a program that you'll use to gather all your information? It's next to impossible. Let's just put it this way.
And it's because the programs don't talk to each other.
No, they talk to each other, but they're not consistent. So here's the thing. So
I was going to say, I really meant they don't talk nice to each other.
Okay, they don't talk nicely.
They yell at each other.
They do. So my advice is a site that makes it easy for you to bring sources into one location is Roots Magic. However, when they pull sources from Family Search and they pull sources from Ancestry, and if you put your own source forms in, it's not the same format. And if you're trying to be a professional genealogist, some advice, at least for the accredited genealogy program, is not to use Roots Magic unless you're going to hand code everything in there. Now, I would change that a little bit. You'll have to learn how to figure out which of the Roots Magic forms are actually evidence explained style so you can be consistent, but you can't import it from Ancestry. It's hard. So this short answer is figure out one place where you ultimately want your sources to go in there, and then you might have to hand code it, or just know, okay, on Family Search, I have my sources for Family Search over there. On Ancestry, I have my sources attached to my trees over there. The two could share some sources, but then it gets wonky. So I don't have a good answer because there isn't a good answer. I have tried for 4 years, and it drives me nuts. So I've almost given up on trying to have a central location for all my sources to look the same. And so I just... Family Search has source citations, or there's link sources there. Ancestry link sources. Roots Magic, I kind of bring them in, but not that much.
So do you have an answer to Maria's question?
I'm not sure because I missed her question because I went and talked about Eric's.
Okay. I tried to download a recent download on the common names.
Uh-huh.
So is it my laptop or link? I'm not even sure what she's talking about.
Okay, so I had a freebie. So on the Common Name Ancestor video, there should have been a PDF that you can download when you sign up using that sign up form, and then you'll get signed up for the newsletter. Unless you've already been on it, you'll still be on the newsletter. And let me check, and then email me at info@familyhistoryfanatics.com. I haven't checked my email in 2 days.
Maria, are you saying that you can't find it on your laptop, or you're looking for the email with the link?
So if it's broken in the email, I need to fix something.
We never have anything broken in any of our emails.
Anyway. But if the link for that surname table sign up should be under the video.
Okay.
The next question.
So next question on here is, Chris, how would you go about adding over 70 matches to your tree who come from the same 4-time great-grandparents? Now, Chris gave us, and all of their kids had lots of kids, and so if you do that for a few generations, what do you end up with?
You have a very big tree unnecessarily.
Well,
and I say unnecessarily because, again, it goes back to the question that you're asking. Let me rephrase this. Let me say it this way. So I could add all of my clay ball matches to my family tree, and then I will be climbing and researching clay balls along with 50,000 other people looking for clay balls. Not that I don't like my clay ball line, but my other lines are the ones that I'm really highly focused on. And so adding the clay balls in and all the DNA matches in for there would just make my tree exponentially huge. Now, if Family Search, because it's one world tree, then... and I could attach my DNA over there, which you can't, that would be great. But Ancestry, everybody has their own little tree, and I'm just going to have 80,000 million hints for all the people that I'm not researching, and it's just going to get cluttered. So I don't have an answer for you because that's just too many people in my tree to deal with. What did you say?
So there's a couple ways of doing this. One is if you don't really care about all the interconnecting people, then you can just put dummy people in and put these matches in, where in the generation you care about.
Not dumb people.
Not dumb people, dummy people. Not people who are dummies, placeholders. That's probably a better word.
Uh-huh. There, I like that better.
Placeholders. Now, the other way is, that's probably what I would do. Because in most cases, if you know that all these people trace back to that line, you have 70 people, which means if you actually put all these people in here, plus all their descendants, you're going to have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that are in there. So I would probably use a dummy thing, or even just keep a note,
a
spreadsheet with a list of, okay, this person is descended from this couple. They are their third great-grandchild. Period, or whatever.
So basically made Joan Jones and Sally Smith until I get to the fourth once removed?
Yeah, something like that.
Potentially. But then that's going to screw up. If you're using Ancestry through lines, that's going to make it really, really messy.
Yeah, there's no good way. You got to put everybody in.
You either have to put everybody in, or thanks to Ancestry through lines, you don't necessarily have to build your tree because the through line does it for you.
True.
And you just go, if you're trying to look, you just go through the through line. Oh, all right, there you go.
And just keep notes that you've validated this through line, so you know what that is.
Mm-hmm. And then make a little note like you're saying, okay, yeah, I validated this one, blah, 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 blah. That's what I would do.
All right, next question. Starling's got a question. Is there a source template for DNA matches?
Well, what program do you want the source template in is the biggest question.
So let's talk Roots Magic real quick. So when you're putting a source, can you put DNA as a source in Roots Magic?
I don't have my Roots Magic right now. I do not know.
Okay.
By Roots Magic 8, and I'm pausing for effect. By Roots Magic 8, I bet that they're going to be adding that to it or have the capacity to add a source template very quickly to it. I'm still a newbie with Family Tree Maker. I don't know. Chances are they have it or have the ability to add it soon. Just because that's their latest edition. They're ahead of the curve on being up to date on their... And I'm not going to say anything else because I love Roots Magic, but they really do need to get Roots Magic 8 out. Love you guys. Get it done.
And the thing with source templates here, so there's, I think BCG has some standards as far as how to source different things.
Yeah, there is a source template that if you Google it, there is one floating around. I know that Family Locket has used it on their website when they talk about DNA case studies because Diane Elder is an AG and she does a DNA research report, so she's come up with a DNA template, and I know it's over there. So familylocket.com.
Yeah, and the thing with that is really, Starling, what you want to figure out is who is this for, because different publications might have different ways that they want to see that source. Obviously, the key thing is you need to have where the match was found, which website, identification for each one of the matches, and what tool was used if there was a tool used for the match. How that's ordered and everything is really going to probably depend on where you're using this and what their standard is.
Yes. All right. Other questions?
Well, I got to see over here. So June says, now this is going back to Chris's question.
Okay.
Was it Chris that had
the
20,000 people family? So June says, I do the first 5 generation collaterals. Now I can't see the questions.
Sorry.
What did you do?
Well, I can't find the slides, but keep going.
Okay. Good thing we're not on the slides because she's doing all sorts of weird stuff.
Go. You're not supposed to point out my errors to everybody.
Oh, sorry.
You're supposed to keep it quiet. Keep it down low. It's June.
Okay, so Mr. Danny Doodah, use blank...
Here,
you
she
missed
said,
it.
Did you do her
Yes,
part?
I did.
Oh, okay.
And then you just...
Okay, my bad.
Use blank names using underscores rather than made-up names. Okay, yeah. If you don't know the names, then there's a good way to help organize stuff. And...
Do you need the mouse?
Yeah, eventually. Because I can't scroll any further.
That's all.
What we need like the TVs or the move.
Questions that you guys need us to address. I know some people said keeping track of common name ancestors, and I have a video about how to research same name ancestors here on the YouTube channel. Keeping a research plan. Hope is not a research plan. Make sure that's from Elise Scalise Powell. But see, you're not doing hope. You're just having fun.
Oh, okay.
And that's a little bit different. But when you're trying to be targeted and focused and answers one question, then you're going to need a research plan, and you need to put it in a format. You need to use Genealogy software, or maybe just a document file where you have your question, you have your links, you have your tables, and you have your information until you're ready to put it into other places. And then ultimately having Genealogy software and online trees.
Yeah, Chris says 2 monitors might work to help us out, except we already have 2 monitors.
We have 2 monitors.
Got this one right here. We got this one right here.
We need 2 computers.
We need 2 computers that are interacting
but
and sharing all the same
stream stuff, and that won't work. But anyway.
I could do it, but then there'd be a lot of equipment on the table.
And we don't have a big table.
Yeah, 3 if you really want to be fancy. Well, we're not fancy.
Yes, but that doesn't resolve the problem of trying to have the same mouse going on.
So Tony says, focus whiteboard.
Focus whiteboard.
If you have a whiteboard to have your focus, what you're trying to research on.
Yeah, that works. Mm-hmm. Very good. Great tip. When and where can we sign up for FHF Extra? Depends on how fast it gets it done.
I got to finish building it. It will be within the next 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
So
by our regular scheduled Friday in 2 weeks, then we should be having that extra, and you'll sign up right here on YouTube. It'll be a little button right next.
Let me see here. So somewhere around here, at the very bottom, will be a little join button.
So right next to the subscribe button will be a join button.
Yep.
Once we make it go live. And then for some of you who saw my really cool emojis and who like to use emojis, which I'm going to pop in real quick, channel members get to have the DNA emoji and the fan chart emoji. I know.
And whatever other emojis we want to create. So if you have good ideas for emojis, we can create emojis for our members.
So those are the 2 little DNA emojis you'll be able to use in live chat, because I know Chris is just dying to use that DNA emoji.
Maybe you can make a Poldark emoji.
I thought of making
every time we have Poldark, you have a scene of him like shirtless cutting the.
Well, see, emojis are like really tiny and you can't see details. That's a GIF. I can't put GIFs in there.
Oh, Maria's putting her one that looks like 2 butts to me, but it's really bouncing elbows. It does. The first time I saw that, I'm like, whoa, Maria, that's like, this is a family channel. And then I'm like, oh, wait a second, that's not 2 butts. That's elbows bouncing against each other.
Well, since most people are now, they have solved their overwhelm problem because they're not asking any more questions, I think we're going to wrap this baby up and call it good. Sticking a fork in it and call it done. Tomorrow, there'll be the DNA live stream. Next week, we'll have premieres. Oh, that's the other thing. Kirsten, you're going to love it. We're going to move to 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern, because our sweetest fans haven't been able to join our premieres and our live stream because they're asleep.
So that'll be, 7 p.m. Sweden time?
Yeah, something around there, 7, 8, rather than 10. We're going to bump it up a couple hours. So next week, sorry guys, we're going to move it up a little bit earlier. Hope it works for you guys. We'll see you there.
What is this enter to win?
There's something, I have something messed up. I have to figure it out. Is there a recovery group for, hey, Randy, how are you? Is there a recovery group for being overwhelmed?
No, there's just more work to do.
No. Oh, yes, there is. Yes, there is. Go to Roots Tech.
Get more overwhelmed.
No, that's one of the places we like to go.
Okay.
Come chill with us at Roots Tech. That's a way not to be overwhelmed. No. You just have to get, here's the recovery group. You get your favorite beverage. Mine is banana milkshakes. And you drink it and keep on checking.
That's right. Make sure you do some exercise if you're drinking banana milkshakes.
Well, all right. Yeah.
Well, we'll see you all later, or tomorrow, or next week, or 2 weeks, or whenever. We don't know when we'll see you. We're not really seeing you. You're seeing us.